Hey everybody, Aaron here. Welcome back to an anime review. Today we're looking at episode 1 of Steins Gate Zero. Oh, I'm so happy this series is back. Oh, I am just so ecstatic that the series is back. I'm a huge diehard fan of Steins Gate. It's still probably one of my top 10 favorite anime of all time. And I've been direly anticipating when this would come out, because I've actually been playing the game, and I stopped at a certain point only because I wanted to see certain endings, like the true ending, for myself. But I got to every other ending, and I'm already at the process of beating all of them. But the thing is that I have been waiting for this series so long, especially when we had the OVA episode that was focused more on showing the beta world line, the kind of conclusion to what would happen if Okabe didn't go back in time and decided to not try to save Kurisu once more, and decide to just hey, I can't do this anymore, I have to leave her. This follows that. So if you guys are completely lost on this, and which is understandable. I mean, it's Steins Gate, it's an older series. I mean, a lot of people haven't followed it in some time. At the very end of Steins Gate, it was where Okabe had to go back in time to save Kurisu. The problem was that the first time he did it, he failed. She ended up dying, and they only had one more try for a retry. But the thing was he didn't want to do it at all. He was just so perplexed about what happened, and just felt so shattered that he was the one who ended up killing her in that world line, that he ends up getting a phone call, luckily, from what looks like himself. I mean, it's supposedly supposed to be this hidden figure that tells him to keep going, to keep persevering, to try to save her. But he's not sure of that. It's something that we realize as a viewer, but no one else does. But that's what causes him then to end the real story, and we go to the Steins Gate, which he ends up saving Kurisu, and both also saves Mayushi too. So the thing is, though, is for the person that told him, hey, listen, you're gonna fail, ultimately, he needed to have one person, one of those versions, fail and not go back and save Kurisu. And thus, where we are right now with Steins Gate Zero is this is focusing on Okabe in a world that's the beta world line, the one that everything has gone a certain way, to the factor of we still have Suzuka here, she has not left. We have also Mayuri still alive, she's perfectly healthy, but of course Kurisu has been killed off and is dead for the most part. Now, the first episode of this really is meant to more just kind of reintroduce these characters. It goes back through some of the things. It shows some flashbacks here or there of Kabe's struggles and stuff like that. But it also shows that he's lost his, Kiyoma spirit, like the one where he wore the lab coat. He was always very, the mad scientist, the very happy-go-lucky dude who still was doing crazy stuff, but at the same time was him. It was his true version of himself. He's lost that. He's completely left that behind, only because he doesn't have the drive anymore that he used to have. He, after suffering the loss of Kurisu, he has basically just went, I can't deal with this. I want to just go focus on college. I want to focus on my own life. And it's why he changes his attire. Like, if you notice, he's wearing all black. He's very, he's very dark and brooding. He still has, the laughter. He still has some jokes here or there, but for the most part, he's not who he was. And it's clear as day watching the first episode of this. But this is definitely a big factor in the whole story of Steins Gate Zero, because, I'm not going to spoil anything for those who haven't seen it. You got a glimpse of Amadeus, and it should be pretty obvious now to those who are questioning what Amadeus was, because I saw many of you. I'm looking at you, memory. I saw you were one of the people that was going, oh, who's Amadeus? What is Amadeus? And it's not the composer, but it's legitimately probably one of the biggest characters returning from Steins Gate, and that should be obvious. I'm not going to say who, just in case, but it really if you focus on who it is, you'll probably figure it out. I love how it ended on that, by the way. That was the cliffhanger for this week's episode, was the fact that it ended just on the revelation of who Amadeus is. And we also meet Maho, we meet the professor. Those are two big characters. Focus on them seriously. They are very big in Steins Gate Zero. They are probably some of the bigger characters to show up, especially Maho. Maho's story in the games especially is almost parallel to what's happening to Okabe and what he's dealing with. Honestly, I am just stoked. Animation was spot on. It looked really, really nice. It kept that original Steins Gate look to it, but you can tell that some stuff has been, upscaled a little bit here and there in terms of, quality. And I'm not saying upscale in terms of oh, they took the original stuff and just, made it look better. I just mean more so than anything else, actually making the animation sharper. It's not, if you notice it, it's not anything mind-blowing yet. We're still looking at stuff that looks very similar to Steins Gate. But Steins Gate only came out 2014, so I'm not really surprised they didn't go too far different. I would, it would kind of ruin Steins Gate if they would have changed the whole quality of the animation and made it look completely different. I think that just would have been terrible in its own right. I do like that. I think the opening song they use, or more so they used it at the very end, is the same one from the video game for it. So if you play the visual novel, you will recognize that as the song that's playing when you first start the game up. I think that's going to be the opening of the series. If not, it's just a good homage to show it, even there in the first place. It's done by the same composer who does most of this. I forget her name. It's like something Ito. I always forget her name, and I hate that because she's done every single song essentially for Steins Gate. She's done for the games. She's also done for Chaos Head, for Occultic 9. She's done a lot of the openings for those series, so it's like, it makes sense, but why do I forget her name all the time? I should not have. Anyways, though, what do you guys think about Steins Gate Zero? I would love to hear from you in the comments below. As always, guys and girls, if you like my reviews, think about hitting the subscribe button, hitting that notification bell for more things to when I upload and stuff like that. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. God bless you all. Have a good one, everyone. Bye-bye.